What is going on?
Raving to the siren.
Welcome to Tinie Corner, where we talk about things and stuff over a cup of coffee. My name is Cindy.
My name's Anon.
And today we are talking about anime again, part 2. So,
or episode 1 because we did epilogue last time.
True. So last episode was epilogue, and this episode is episode 1. So, I mean, we're probably going to talk about anime a lot anyway. Yeah. But we kind of decided that we wanted to do something a little bit more specific.
Yeah.
And so we went to one of our favorite podcasts and yoinked their idea of doing a 3x3 of our favorite animes.
Mm-hmm.
Podcast is Trash Taste, by the way.
Yes.
I think a lot of people know that, but yes.
So, absolutely love that podcast, by the way.
We binge it so much. And it's just, we've been watching it since the beginning. Yeah. Basically. Because
I saw it. I remember when I first saw it on YouTube, I was like, oh, what is this? You know? And it says like, the Trash Taste, like, okay, the name of the title is already like, you know, intriguing. So I was like, I clicked it in and then it just like kind of familiar faces. And then I was like, oh, this is great. And then I just kept watching it.
Yeah.
With a year now.
Yeah. And you told me about it. I had kind of seen it around, and I used to watch all 3 of them, Joey, Connor, and Gon, like religiously anyway when I was younger. But then it's been a while. And when they, like last year, when they started doing the podcast, because you were watching it, so I was like, something to like bond over. So I was watching it too, and now we can't get enough.
Stop it.
So yeah, we decided to do that as well, because we're both avid anime watchers.
Or weep.
Or weeps, unfortunately. Jokingly.
Do you know the full name of weep?
Isn't it weeaboo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still don't know like what... It doesn't have any like, you know, the full name of it. Like it's not chosen for... Like each letter does not stand for anything. It's just like weeaboo.
It came from...
Ochan.
The word came from wannabe. And then it changed to weeaboo. I can't really remember how the Ayabu came about, but you know, like it came from wannabe. Came from wannabe to weeaboo to weep.
Got it.
Yeah.
Cultured.
Yes, we don't condone cultural appropriation. This is all a joke. We're otakus. But yeah, so for this episode, I think I'm gonna start with mine. And then we'll see if we're going to cut it up in 2 episodes or if we're going to go like throughout the whole thing. It depends on how long we take to talk about the individual animes.
Be 2 episodes.
Probably, yeah. But we're going to start with mine, and I have it on my phone.
Yes. Before we start this episode, can I say something about like last episode?
Sure.
I talked so much shit. When I said like, you know, Monster Farm was like Digimon.
Yeah.
I was completely wrong. Yeah. And I realized that I watched it, I was like, hang on a minute.
This is nothing like Digimon.
Yeah, exactly. And in my defense, I was like, 10-something-year-old. Yeah. And I haven't touched it since then. So I was like, yo, there's like some kind of monster. I was like, oh, it's the same shit. I was wrong.
Yeah.
And the difference between the Japanese anime title and English title could be just ridiculously different. Like, which one was it?
You mean for like for animes in general, yeah? Not specifically for...
Like for the later one, it's fine because they can kind of translate it quite well.
It means like in anime in general, we're not talking about Monster Farm anymore.
Oh, no, yeah. Sorry. My communication skill sucks. If you haven't figured that out by now. Yeah. So like for the later, the recent ones are okay. Like Attack on Titan, like Shingeki no Kyojin, that's pretty straightforward. Excuse me. Like how many kilograms of dumbbell can you lift? That's also pretty straightforward. But then there's like Yuyu Hakusho. like, you know, like the animes in 90s back then. I only just found out because in the episode, I think I also said that I don't know English names. It says Yuyu Hakusho in like written in English, and then like in a tiny cap, it's like Ghost Files. Like, what?
Yeah.
What is this?
Yeah. I think it has to do with anime becoming globalized. So they're probably coming up with easier names that is easier to translate to.
Yeah.
Unless it's like just straight up a name.
And I feel like it's more, it's easier to just understand of what's going on in other countries. Like the infamous scene, Onigiri in Pikachu.
Yes.
The jelly donut.
Yes. Pikachu?
Sorry.
In Pikachu?
Yes, in Pikachu.
In the famous anime Pikachu.
Correct. Oh my God, what is going on with me?
Okay, so before we get into it, he's been like cursed over the past few days. I actually watched a gameplay of a horror game, kind of. I forgot the developer, but it's quite a famous scary game developer, right? But it's about this girl who she thinks that she's like cursed with bad luck. Because you know those like games you play when you're young? It's like tag, like curse tag or something like that. It's like, oh, if you don't like do this, then you're gonna get bad luck for 10 years, stuff like that. So apparently she never like believed in it. So and now when she's like older, she believed that like because she didn't believe in it in the past, it all builds up for her to have like consistently bad luck. And then it started happening to you.
Right.
And I've been thinking about like, dang, he's cast. You keep like knocking stuff over and like breaking stuff and just generally having a bad time.
So if for whoever watched episode 1, which we talk about coffee and I talk about my equipment, basically one of my scale for a useful, you know, brewing coffee, that thing is so expensive. And I just found out like about 10 minutes ago before we start this that one of the functions stopped working.
Yeah, but it was working yesterday. Because you were using it yesterday, right? Were you using it yesterday? Yeah, because we made coffee. It was working yesterday. I haven't used it since then. We'll see.
It just broke.
Yeah.
I think it cost like 6,000 baht.
We'll see what happens. It'll probably get better. But if you see anything getting broken, then you know what's happening.
Yep.
Let's get into the 3x3.
Yes.
So a 3x3 is basically 3x3. So like 9 top.
It's a top
something.
9.
It's a top 9. Yeah, you're right. It's a top 9. And usually you can do like with anything basically 3x3.
Sorry, now that we're saying top 9, is that how like top 9 Instagrams was created because 3x3 was a thing?
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Yes. Yes.
It just
that
clicked.
Is correct.
It just clicked.
3x3 top 9. I didn't do these in any specific order. So like the first one is not my favorite, or the middle one is not my favorite, something like that. But we can get into it. I'll send it to your line.
Yes.
And can you please put it on the screen as well?
Yes, I will do that.
Hey.
Where's my 3x3 though? Put in Google Drive and now it's gone. Jesus Christ.
You don't need it right now though.
Oof.
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 Oh, there was one that I was so tempted to put in, but I didn't.
You have any first thoughts, or do you want to go through it one by one?
Let's go through one by one, shall we?
Okay, so this is my 3x3. So I was talking about how kind of stressful this whole thing was to make, because like I try to not think about it too much, because I was like, okay, the first ones that come to my head must be my favorites, right? So because I think about them a lot, but then only like 4 would come to mind. And then I would be like, oh, but what about the rest? Now I have so many left. So I would like list out, and then I had to cut down which ones I wanted to include. But then I had too many. And I was like, oh,
course.
Okay.
Of course.
And then I had to decide like which ones. Basically, I tried not to think about it too much, but then I ended up overthinking it. And then I because I was overthinking it so much.
The
I
loop
ended
continues.
I ended up being like, I can't think about this anymore, and then just put it up. So yes, so let's start from. I did mention a few things to you as well.
Before we get into that, so we can both agree that 3x3 is not enough to put like our favorite animes in it.
I would say it's too much, to be honest, because like some of these on here, I really, really like them, but it's very hard to compare like my top tier ones to ones I really like. Because there's some that like, you know, changed my whole life, and there's some that's like, oh, I really had a good time watching this.
Yeah, because like some of them, you know, just because the series have really good animation, good voice acting, everything, it just bump up the entire experience by a lot. And then there's some with like very average animation, but like the story is just so good.
So I would divide my favorites into two different groups. So one is ones that I rewatch all the time. I cannot get enough of it. Like no matter how old it is, no matter how many like remakes or like seasons they make, I just keep rewatching it all the time. And then we have the other type that I watch once, and I kept thinking about it for like 10 years straight, but I would never rewatch it. You know what I mean? So like both of these have like a special place in my heart, but
same.
They're very, very different to me.
Yeah.
Like you will see it on this 3x3 as well. But let's start from the beginning. So in the top, it will be top left.
Yes.
It's Ore Monogatari, or Our Story. So this one is one of the earlier than I mentioned. So it's like I can rewatch this
over and over.
Over and over and over. So this is not actually something that is usually my style. Have you seen it? It's really good. So I'm usually not that into romance stories because, I mean, I used to be really into it when I was younger, but then I think I just over-consumed it and everything just seems kind of cliche for me now. But this one is amazing. So Ore Monogatari is about this dude that is in the right side of the picture. He's not conventionally handsome or anything like that. He's kind of like scary looking. He's really big, and I mean, he's like, you know, typical manly man, but his personality is really soft. So he's a soft boy, and then he falls in love with this girl, and this story, there's no conflict in this story at all. It's not a drama. It's just like both of them are super in love with each other.
Like smooth sailing. Yeah,
like she loves him back, and it's just about their relationship. And you see like the other guy in the picture, it's not a love triangle. He's just like their supportive friend. Yeah. It's so
Major
good.
wingman.
I love it so much. It's a comedy. So it just follows them throughout their relationship and what happens. I
didn't watch the entire series, but I've seen like clips and everything. Basically, the main dude is invincible.
He's so cool. Like
there's one of the scene where he just like went to like a burnt down house. It's like, I'm gonna save like a girl, like a cat or something like that, and he just came out unscratched.
Yeah.
Like what?
He's super cool. Like the main girl is also super like likable. So usually with the shoujo manga or anime, it's not. There's usually like a conflict where the girl gets jealous or like something like really stereotypical stuff. But this girl is just like, she's an angel. She never gets jealous. She's just like understanding and supportive. And she's like, yeah, like I don't care about like this and this and that. Like I love you, this and this and that. And like it's not toxic at all. It's just feel good. And it's really funny. So yeah, it's like a no thought, head empty kind of anime. I just like to watch it. Like over and
just
over.
Just let it run.
Yeah. Like when I feel down, I will watch this. So yeah, we should watch it.
Yeah. I mean, as you said earlier in the episode where it says, you know, just because it's in your 3x3, it doesn't mean to be like, it's a good anime.
Yeah. But
definitely. How much, like how high do you rate this? Like, you know what I mean?
Exactly. So there's a lot of...
like what score would you give to this anime?
Me? Out of 10?
Yeah.
Probably an 8, which is pretty high. Because it's really hard to rate them though, because as I said, like, this is not an anime that will impact your life at all. But it's just really feel good. So it's not life changing or anything like that, but it's just, you know.
But I've been like hearing like something like some weird sounds
Is
when
it
I like
the
move.
jacket?
Yeah, and then like I realized my hair just kept brushing into this like zipper. It's like keep like tick, 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 tick. I was like, what is it?
My biker jacket.
Yes.
Yes.
You don't even drive.
Yeah, it's a hand me down from my dad from his biker days when he was a teen. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, if you like just comedy anime,
Like rom-com,
that is not
slice of life.
yeah. That is like if you want something like unproblematic that is cute and funny, this one is for you. Dang, and then we go
And then we
and then we go into the next one.
a 180.
The Evangelion. This is a as you said, it's a complete 180. It's super problematic, first of all, but it's so good. It's such a good anime, and I just love it so much, despite like all of the
Hates and
yeah, it has a lot of shitty aspects to it, but the way that it impacted my life when I was first watching it, and then as I rewatched it as I got older, it's like because I never really watched anything that was so like thoughtfully executed before that. So it was just like a whole new thing for me because it has a lot of hidden meanings and stuff like that.
right.
I mean, you've seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only the movies though. I didn't watch the series.
So the one I put on here is for the series, but of course, like the movies are basically the same.
Movies, I think 1, 2, 3. They're like recap, right? Or 1 and 2.
Only one. Only the first movie is a recap.
Right.
But then it gets very complicated.
But you've seen a lot of memes about it, you know, with that kid like on the chair, and then the dad.
Yes.
Yeah, that one.
The world's shittiest dad.
Yes.
Well, I think a lot of you know Evangelion anyway, but just for people who don't know, it recently got onto Netflix as well.
Yes. I'm not sure if the movies got on, but this anime series definitely got on.
Yes.
And it might be a bit tough for the newcomers because it's like 19 something graphics.
Yeah.
So it's not like HD remake. It's just like, you know, those like hand drawn kind of.
It's very old school, and it's like you can see that it's aged, but so this is not a lighthearted anime at all. So basically it's a mecha anime, so with robots and stuff like that. Try not to spoil anything, but it's about this kid called Shinji, who's the main character, and his dad is the leader of the like world protection organization, something like that. The world is basically it's the end of the world, basically. And the only way for them to save the world is to have teenagers fight in mechas against aliens.
Yes.
So it's only teenagers who can do it. And as you can imagine, there's a lot of angst and like emotions growing up as a teen. So they basically utilize that emotion to be able to, pilot these mechas.
Yeah. It's very similar to Pacific Rim. It's actually based off of that. So
Pacific Rim is based on Evangelion.
Yes. So if you ever seen Pacific Rim, then you get the vibe, like about 30% of this anime.
Yeah, so we both love Pacific Rim, by the way, but it's trash.
It's trash, but we love it.
It's trash, but it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's basically Evangelion without the serious stuff. So it's more lighthearted and just easier to watch.
Yep.
But Evangelion is that. But at the same time, Evangelion is just this show that is disguised as a mecha, but it's actually about depression and coming of age, and also like coming to terms with sexuality as a kid and everything like those hidden stuff.
Yeah.
Anything you want to add first? I feel like I'm talking a lot.
No. Like keep going, because like I really do enjoy Evangelion, but as I said, like, I never really got too heavily into the series. Like I do I did pick up like, those kind of issues that you said, but I'd never really think about it too much because, as I said, I only watch it in the movies version, and I'm sure they cut out a lot of like details. And
they basically pack it in, to fit it as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, some of my friends have started watching it recently, and everybody really liked it. I will say though that if you are somebody who struggle with like depression or anxiety, please watch it slowly. Please don't binge it at all, because it's not just the story, it's the way that they display the different things. It's kind of upsetting.
I feel like they over exaggerated things in a way that like
you will
artistically,
feel it. Yeah.
It's great.
The imagery and stuff is not just like, here's the scene happening. It's also like how the main character is slowly breaking down and like how he experiences things. So yeah, it's a very well crafted anime with a lot of problematic themes, not just the mental illness part of it, but also like the whole like underage thing. But it's like
Asuka comatose.
Yes.
The famous meme.
Yes, there's alcohol. It's a lot of upsetting things in it.
Yes.
But please watch it with a critical view, and it's meant to be like thought through. It's not meant to just be enjoyed.
Yeah. Fun facts. Apparently, the creator hated this series.
Yeah. So this is actually one of the main reasons why. This is gonna sound terrible, but I think I told you about this as well. So the creator of this anime actually hates the anime. He made it a lot based on his own emotions as well. So it was a very personal thing for him. But basically he hates the anime community because he thinks that otakus and such are trash. I don't know about it right now, but he said this like in an interview way back when he was just making the series. So basically when he made Evangelion, he made it so that he wanted to expose the dark side of otaku culture, where he showed like a very stereotypical set of characters. So like how Asuka is like the tsundere, and how Rei is the kudere, and like
what is kudere?
I think a lot of people know tsundere. So kudere is a term that is used for usually girls who are emotionless and don't really show the true side of themselves, or they don't really show any emotions on their face, so their reactions are not that strong. So usually they put dere at the end to describe a type of personality. So there's a whole bunch of them. So there's the famous one, tsundere or yandere or himedere, kamidere, stuff like that. So usually it has to do with personality and what people like to see, usually just in media. Because like basically all of these deres are very unrealistic.
Yeah, like if they were to exist in my like close circle, I would slap the shit out of them.
Yeah, or like send them to like, mental hospital or something like that. But yeah, this is like a general term. So he made this set of characters to basically say, look at this. This is what you guys enjoy. Look at this graph. Anyway, so like he made it to show people like, this is the kind of disgusting things that you guys are into. Look at this. I'm exposing you right now. However, it backfired and people actually loved it. Yeah. People were like, yeah, that's what I like.
Yeah. Joke's on you. I'm into that shit.
Yeah. So he ended up making a lot of money, like a lot of money. And
I'm sure the studio is just like, please make more of this.
Yeah, basically. So of course it became his livelihood and he had to make more of it. And he made the movies, when he started producing the movies, he made them shittier and shittier the more they came out, to the point where he basically gave up. So he tried to make people not like it so he could stop making them. And yeah, I think that
he thought
people just liked it more and more because like the lore just grew, because they don't just do one universe, they do like multiverse and stuff like that. So it just the lore grew, and then of course the more information there is about something, of course people are gonna get more involved with it because they're like, consuming that information. I think that he got to the point where he kind of accepted it because I saw in his, because the latest movie just came out, which is allegedly the last movie ever for Evangelion. But he said that he made it to say goodbye to the series. So it feels like he kind of came to a point of peacemaking with the whole...
He's trying to stop making people hate it. I was like, okay, you know what? I'm just going to put an end to this.
Yeah, so he like ended it now and he seems like he's kind of at peace with it. And I don't know though. I don't know him.
Even that, like the names of each movie that comes out, it's just like Evangelion, Neon Genesis Evangelion 1.0.
Yeah.
1.00. Then it's like 2. Then it's like the second one came out, so it's like Neon Genesis Evangelion 2.00. And then there's like 2.001. Like, so there's like additional scenes, and it's like in bracket you cannot redo or whatever. And the third one came out. It's like there's like 3 and 3.03. And then the fourth one is like 3.0 plus 1.0. Like,
yeah.
Please stop.
It's I don't know if he actually felt that way or if it's just like a genius marketing tactic, but it worked either way. And now he's like,
he made money out of it, so
yeah, and he's like known worldwide. Probably doesn't have to work a day in his life again.
Like, how much money would he make out of his merch? Just think about that.
Yeah, exactly. Because like, if we think of in terms of figurines, for example, Eva is one of the only anime series that still has the price of their figurines at some of the highest priced figurines ever.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's still super expensive for how long it's been out. So usually the more recent the anime is, the more expensive the figurines are.
Because of the demand. And
exactly. Because like people stop becoming interested and like stuff like that. But Evangelion figurines are still like really expensive unless you buy them secondhand.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. The third one.
Yes. The woman crybaby. Wah. I don't know what to say about this. I was considering if I should put it on here or not because it's kind of shameful.
Why? Okay. I didn't watch it. I know the art style is great. I think the art style is very old, like old school.
Yes and no. The way that they animate the style is very modern, but the way that it looks like in stills and stuff is very old school.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure the soundtrack is pretty amazing as well.
Oh, it's so
good. If I remember
good.
correctly. But yeah, I didn't watch the whole thing.
I see, that's why.
Yeah.
If you know, you know. I mean, the thing is that I really, really, really enjoy really dark anime series. It's the same reason why I enjoy like horror games and stuff. But so this one is like, it has a very Evangelion-esque feeling to it as well, especially the ending, which I'm not going to spoil, but it has very good ending. But it's also very depressing. But I say that it's shameful because it's on the verge of being a smut anime. Not as in like sexual, but like it's very overly violent and graphic.
Okay.
So even if you watch just the first episode, you would know why. But actually, like I think the first episode is probably the worst one. I think it's because of shock value. I guess it's not really a spoiler if it's in the first episode.
It's on Netflix, by the way. If
it's
you
on
want
Netflix.
to watch.
Please watch it if you're not too like nauseous about like blood and stuff. Because it's very bloody. I ate the mic again. But
Yeah, I realized.
Can I talk about the first episode?
Yeah, maybe.
Kinda. I'm not gonna spoil too much about it, but it's about this boy who is not very strong, not very, athletic or like popular or anything like that. And he lives in a society And in this society, demons exist.
Mm-hmm.
But normal people don't know that demons do exist, right? But demons basically eat humans. So this boy, he kind of becomes possessed with a demon. So this usually doesn't happen. So usually the demon would just eat the human and then move on with their life. But he becomes like where he shares the body with a demon.
Got it.
And he becomes a demon and stuff like that. So like they are one. And it's just so happens that this demon that he gets possessed by is very powerful, like one of the most powerful ones
Mm-hmm.
in the world. So he has to kind of choose side, and he has to decide if you want to use
Sounds almost like Jujutsu Kaisen, is it?
kind of, but not
I know,
really.
just joking. Because like that kind
The
of,
demon stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like, oh no, I got possessed by the bad guy and now I have to choose side. We're going to fight for the good. Yeah, even though I'm a demon.
Yeah, but in Jujutsu Kaisen, he's still him. They're still separate.
Mm.
So they're not one.
Mm.
But here it's like he is the demon now. Like he became
Got
the
it.
demon.
Right,
So it's
right,
not
right,
like
right.
there's a voice in his head like being like, you have to do bad things, you know? So basically,
Human.
exactly. So basically, because this happens, of course he chooses the good side of the humans.
Mm-hmm.
So he starts to use his abilities to fight other demons and stuff like that. And to do this, he gets the help from another character
Mm-hmm.
that tells him what to do and stuff like that. That's basically the chunk of the story, the
Right.
biggest chunk
I
of the
was
story.
like, was that all in the first episode?
No, this
I
is
was
the,
like,
this is the
okay.
basic chunk of the story.
right.
This anime is actually really old. It used to have another version that used to run on TV, very, very tame compared to this one. I haven't really watched it.
Probably because of like censorship.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But even the the manga is not that bloody compared to this
Right.
one, but the concept is still the same.
No wonder, because I remember like Devilman is such an old like series.
Yeah, same one.
Okay, got it.
It's
like,
the same
that
one.
explains.
But the style is very different from like the animation style.
Mm.
It's very comedic, I guess.
Yeah.
In the past, you did long noses and stuff
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that. Still very interesting. Same concept as I said, but just not as
Like it's quite
Yeah.
refreshing to see this kind of animation though. Like it's because people would mostly used to the typical anime look like Naruto and whatnot, and then like comes to like actual cartoonish art style. Then it's like, oh, it's quite cool, and then like got whacked in the head.
Exactly. Going back to the first episode, if you remember the music video, the anime music video in the pool, in the school pool,
Yes.
it's that. That's the first episode, kind of.
Ah, okay.
So if you know, you know. And if you don't know, then you probably don't want to know.
That was such a random thing to say. Like school, like
It's very specific.
yeah, to the point where like, okay,
If you know this screen cap, then you know what's about to go down.
I just went through like the files in my head. So like, what is it? What is it? What is it? I was like,
yeah, so it's that, but just like
Got
a
it.
whole scene.
yeah.
And it's that, but in a rave party with a bunch of drugs and a bunch of naked people.
Nice.
And that whole thing, yes. So yeah, but it's also, so why I like it is because same reason as Evangelion. It has a lot of like hidden concepts and like think pieces that you can go through when you watch it the second round. And the ending is just like mind blowing. So I
I've
like
seen
that kind
bits of it, so I was like,
Yeah.
it's pretty damn good.
Yeah, it's really good, but very bloody. So
Yeah.
beware.
So if like you have like epileptic, I think like
Yeah,
be very careful because it flashes a
epilepsy.
lot.
Yeah, it's a lot of flashing images. The whole animation style is kind of like chopped up, like flashy. Before I move on, one of my favorite parts in the anime is actually a group of 3 guys who raps, and they will just appear randomly in the anime and just start rapping about stuff.
Oh my god.
It's so good.
So it doesn't exist in like a normal plane of anime, or they're just
No,
like
they're just like normal people.
But then they rap about what's going on, or just
like they're
rap?
just like boys hanging out, and they just happen to be there while shit goes down.
Nice.
And then they're like, hanging out. And, have you seen like videos of guys like having rap battles?
Yeah, like I love those kind of like moments they have in anime, where just like the most random shit happen and just like juxtaposing like of what the hell's going on in the actual thing, and it's just like, what's up? We're gonna rap now.
Yeah, they're really good, by the way.
I love those kind of shit. Like when it happens,
it's so good. Let's watch it.
I should.
Yeah.
I mean,
I should.
I mean, like, I probably have about 20 or like 30 series I need to watch. So, on a tangent, I planned this like scene in the previous episode. You've probably already seen it, where I list out hopefully all of my anime that I've watched, right? Quickly in that scene. And so I went through my hard drive, my old one, from like, I don't know, like 2012, 2013, around that era. And I went back to check. And oh God, the amount is like ridiculous. Not just that, the amount of things that I have not watched it, it's like, I would say at least 30%.
Yeah.
That I just have it in there.
I can imagine.
So yeah, I was like, I'm pretty hesitant to like, yeah, let's watch it. Maybe I have like.
It's so hard to catch up on stuff because there's so much of it. But yeah, it's just like watching it when you feel it's the right time.
And that's why I never get to play Undertale.
Yes.
Okay.
Shall we?
On to the fourth one.
Let me open it again. So we're just like going all over the place here. So Naruto. This is the OG Naruto, not Shippuden. So it's not something that I watch nowadays. I know a lot of people who are getting into it now and they're like watching the whole thing and like, good for you. I don't want to do that. I never want to consume a long anime in my life again. I'm too old for that. If it's 12 episodes, good. If it's longer than that, sorry. But yeah. Naruto was such a big part of my childhood. So this is kind of like a nostalgic addition to my 3x3. It's just something that I used to bond over with my friends as a kid. And it was like something that I would watch as the series came out. Like so as each episode came out, we would watch it.
Like week by week.
Week by week, yeah, exactly. So usually with people who watched anime like 15 years ago, you know that you would have at least one huge shonen anime that you would watch. So this was mine. I didn't really watch One Piece. I tried to get into Bleach, but kind of fell off kind of quickly.
So for our era, we have a big three that we call it. I believe it was Bleach, Naruto, One Piece. Because Dragon Ball is like
it was before that. Yeah.
So like that's our era of the big three.
Yeah.
I think the recent one would be Boku no Hero Academia.
Yes.
So My Hero Academia.
Demon Slayer?
Black Clover.
You think so?
It's long running.
Okay.
So it's like one of the shonen big three. The last one I don't know. Like I know there's like, those kind of stuff going on. Like they would have like the big three of each era. So I don't know like
I don't know if
be.
The recent one would apply to that era. Because we have like Demon Slayer and Jujutsu, which are becoming like huge.
Yeah, but then like they're not like long running.
True.
Right, in like Shonen Jump,
True.
For Boku Hero Academia, it's been like big since like 2012, or like 2013,
True.
this kind of stuff. My friend like told me to watch to read it even back then. So like it's been big since like 7 years ago.
Yeah.
So I don't know what the third one is.
I think that people don't really watch long animes anymore because of the era of social media. Like we need something like quick. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Theory.
Okay. Back to Naruto.
Yeah. It's just a theory. An anime theory. Thank you. So back to Naruto.
Thanks for watching.
I was obsessed with it. I had the headband and everything. I would sit and learn, the different
American Sign Language.
Yes. ASL. My favorite character was probably, at that time, back in the day, it was Hinata.
Ah,
So
I was about
loved
to say
her.
Haru.
I liked Haru too a lot. But
The trap.
for reasons that I would not say because of spoilers, it didn't last very long. So yeah, I liked Hinata. And then as I grew older, of course, Itachi and Kakashi, like a normie.
Yes.
I've become one.
I mean, like,
They're
there are
so
some,
cool.
yeah, there's some character that's universally acceptable as, like, if you're going to sim over
Yeah.
Kakashi,
Itachi,
and Itachi is one of them.
Yes. So yeah, they're my favorites.
I never got into Naruto.
This is we're
'Cause-
into One Piece.
Like, yeah, we did. Although it was my era, like that I grew up with, I chose to go down the pirate path, One Piece. I did own a couple episodes, like volumes of Naruto. I didn't like. I enjoy reading it, but I was never really into it.
Mm,
Probably because I didn't start from the very beginning,
yeah.
and I didn't really grow up with it.
Yeah.
Even now, there's like, animes, like there are hundreds and hundreds of episodes out. I never, find a motivation or reasons to go back and rewatch from the beginning. Because, when you growing up with this kind of stuff, you'll get spoiled.
Yeah.
So I know the premises of the entire series, even though I never watch it.
Yeah. It's the same for me and One Piece. Like, there's so many episodes, and I'm just like, I can't find it in me to watch it.
Mm.
So I started on it, I think. I did, yeah. I started like a few episodes, and then I just... Also, the thing is with these animes that
Mhm.
has like a lot of episodes, there's a lot of fillers. There's so many fillers, and I'm so unused to it now. Back in the day, it's like, sure, whatever, because like, oh, more content for me to enjoy.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, get to the point. Get to the point.
The thing is that if you want to really enjoy the series, you read it.
Yeah.
Because there would be no fillers.
Yeah.
Well, there would be fillers, but in like a filler arc, not the entire like 5 seasons of fillers.
Yeah.
Right. So you never got to Bleach? Now that we're talking about big 3, do you ever got to Bleach?
I watched it for a while, and then it became kind of weird, so I stopped.
Mm-hmm.
So I rewatched the first few episodes.
Soul
like,
Society arc.
yeah.
I read it. I'd never watched it. And yeah, I was so pissed at the ending.
I never got to the
So-
ending.
Yeah. You can talk about the manga later on because I have
Yeah.
something to rant on about this as well. But yeah, never watched Bleach. Read it.
Yeah. We're gonna do a manga episode as well.
Yep.
Probably a 3x3 as well, because
Mhm.
there's a lot. I'm more of a manga reader than an anime watcher in general. So yeah. I don't have much to say about Naruto. It's great. It's just great.
Yeah.
I was obsessed with it. I went to a music school, so I would just learn how to play the songs on piano instead of like doing my homework. Just that. Did everything like a Naruto fan would do at that time. I had,
Naruto
like-
running?
Yeah, I did Naruto
Yes.
running. I was that girl. And I had like, I don't know if they exist anymore, but there used to be a lot of like anime roleplay communities online.
Mm-hmm.
I had a Naruto OC, of course.
Of course.
Yeah. So I did the whole shablam. The whole cringe train. I did that.
Nice.
So yeah, no shame. Let's move on.
Yes, to the 5th one.
JoJo. So, of course, there's not much to say about JoJo. Everybody loves JoJo.
There is a lot to say and there's not much to say at the same time. I
So
don't even know where to begin.
the full title of this anime is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Mhm.
And that is a perfect name for this anime. It's just
Bizarre.
bizarre and amazing and fantastic and show-stopping and talented and
brilliant, incredible, amazing, show-stopping, spectacular, never the same, totally unique, completely not ever been done before, unafraid to reference or not reference, put it in a blender, shit on it, vomit on it, eat it, give birth to it.
So I actually only got into it recently, like a couple years ago. It's been running for a long time.
Like the manga wise?
Yeah.
I would say over 15 years.
So I only got...
You know what? Let me fact check that real quick.
We just be saying shit here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I only recently got into like a couple of years ago.
Sorry, the reason I have to say that because there's so many times I have to, like in the middle of editing, I fact check of what we said. I was like,
it's
oh
wrong.
My God.
So I started watching it. I binged it, like the whole thing, and then I just rewatched it again, recently again, and again and again. I'm very happy that we're gonna get a Julene soon. I haven't read the manga. I really want to, but I'm just...
Original run, January 1st, 1987.
Dang, you were wrong. Very wrong.
Yes.
But enough about me personally. Let me talk about JoJo.
Yes.
So a lot of you guys know about JoJo and what the JoJo verse is about. Some of you have seen it, but have no idea what it's about, and understandably so, because it is very confusing.
And I would say like a lot of social media's influencers slowly like revealing that they are like JoJo fans, and you see a lot of references of JoJo, like
there's a lot of there's a lot of memes that stems from JoJo, but people don't really know that it's from JoJo. So that one, like to be continued meme, and Dio. Dio in general is a meme. So what it's about? Let me start with the first season. The beautiful and weird first season of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. It has nothing to do with the rest of the anime at all. So kind of like, it's like the back lore of everything else. But the whole system of like magic or like power or stuff like that has nothing to do with the rest of JoJo. So if you're gonna get into JoJo, you can just skip the first season if you want to.
But it would be nice to like, know the meme reference and lore and whatnot.
Yeah.
So.
But you can always go back to it later as well. The easiest to start watching from is the third season. I would say you don't really need a second season either.
Think so?
Yeah. So what they do is each JoJo. So there's many JoJos, but they're all like blood related.
Yes.
So each season has a new JoJo. It doesn't mean that the other one dies usually, but it just means that
the reason that they call JoJo is because the name, the first name, the last name have the word Joe in it. For example, Jonathan Joestar.
Yeah.
Jotaro. Wait, Jotaro didn't have.
He did. The Japanese one is also Joe, but I.
And yeah, there's like Jotaro, Josuke.
Kujo.
Oh yeah, Kujo. So like each of them will have like two Joes in first name and last
so
name.
Kujo, Jotaro, Jojo, Jonathan Joestar, Jojo. So like usually they would not call themselves Jojo, but everybody else around them will call them Jojo by chance. So so each one.
If there's happened to be two JoJo in one scene, because that happens, they would call each other by like
the first name. But everybody else would just say like Mr. Jojo and then like Jojo-kun.
Yeah.
So it's like, or like by the last name too, so like Joestar-sama or something like that. So anyway, so each season is a new JoJo, and it's usually each season is like contained within itself. So they have a lot of references to other seasons, but it's basically one story within one season.
Yep.
So it will be like they will need to do something like go across the desert to save somebody from a curse, from somebody who's in the desert where they have to travel, blah, 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 blah. And they have to like fight other people. I'm trying to be very vague
I was like...
here. So the power that they use in the first season is something called like breath work stuff.
Like
So
breathing
hamo
technique.
It's called hamo, and they use their breathing to like create energy to use in like fighting, like pew pew pew. But that's totally scrapped in the second season, and they use something called stance, which comes from standing up against your enemy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I
They
didn't know
revealed
that.
that like 4 seasons later.
I didn't know that.
So stand comes from standing up against your enemy.
I thought it was just like, you know, your...
You're standing up.
Yes. Stand up. Yes. Like your willpower kind of like, you know, manifests itself and become like...
That's what it is, but that's not why it's called stand. So like it is that. It's that. So that's your like willpower to fight.
But that's
manifests into like a ghost.
not it.
Kind of ghost monster thing that looks like you kind of, but sometimes doesn't. And it's usually named after rock bands that the author likes.
Which I don't know how they got freaking like license to do so.
They didn't. So like you usually if you watch the Japanese version, it will have like just straight up the names like AC/DC and like stuff like that. But if you watch the English version, they will have to change the names.
Oh, really?
They changed the names, yeah. Let me think.
Because like, did AC/DC change?
I don't know if specifically AC/DC changed, but it was...
I feel like they have to pronounce it a little bit differently.
They changed some of the words, like Red Hot Chili Peppers. It's like spicy, or I forgot what it is.
Right.
But it's like they changed the words around to make the references, but not straight up make the references. But
And the reason that the Japanese can do this will have to do with the next
copyright.
anime we're going to talk about as well.
Oh.
Yeah. Another thing that I don't get it is like how they get all these licenses to music that they use. Because not all the soundtrack from JoJo use Japanese songs. Sometimes they use like actual songs.
Yeah. They usually get like, because the anime came a lot later, and the recent seasons specifically have a lot of different like music because it's so popular now that it's so easy for them to get like...
They have like the power to
to do it, because everybody loves JoJo who are actually into it. It's really hard to get into it, but once you're into it, it's very hard to get out. And it's just amazing.
It's whacked.
It's so fun. But yeah, copyright law in Japan is not as strong as in Western countries.
They have like free use kind of thing. So, yeah, I shall segue into the next anime. Since they don't really have, they basically can use any images for satire purposes without having to ask for permissions. So they can do whatever they want. And the Westerns will have to figure it out themselves because they can't air it, because sometimes the certain intellectual properties that they use as satire are owned by someone else, and so they can't use it, but they can in Japan.
Yeah.
The next one is
Osimatsuzan. I absolutely love this anime series. Something I rewatch as well. But so this one, where to even start? So Osimatsuzan used to be another series that was kind of like Doraemon and stuff like
old
that.
school anime.
Yeah, that would air on TV like as a kid show. And in that show, they were kids. They are sextuplets. They are sextuplets. They are 6 brothers who are born at the same time. So they all look the same. This is why they look like this. So the old one is actually them as kids, but now in the rebooted version, they are adults, but they're all jobless and like still living at home. Just like you. And so it's a comedy series. They just do a bunch of stuff that is ridiculous, and every brother has a different personality. It's just funny. The humor is really good, and most of the script is written while the writers are shit-faced drunk. So they already like admitted to this. So they are usually right when you're out drinking. And sometimes the voice actors would just like improvise as well. And they would just animate around the improvisation. And
wait, so sometimes they animate before, they voice act before animation?
Usually they will finish, from what I know, they will finish animation kind of like the rough
And then
rough
they
finish, and then they will voice act. But sometimes the voice actors like just add in something, and they're like, yeah, okay, sure, let's animate that.
Nice.
Yeah, like there was one episode, for example, where Ishimatsu, the purple
The first
one,
one?
the purple one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which number?
I think he is the second. No, he's not. He is the.
Going by the name. Anyhow,
There's Osimatsu is the first one.
the second ones.
No, second one is Karamatsu.
Why? Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know
anyhow.
Japanese. But anyway, so Ishimatsu. There was like a part where they got punished by this corporation that they were working at in this specific episode, and their punishment was to get poles stuck up their butt. And
It's a very Japanese thing.
it's a very Japanese thing. So, so the voice actor they were basically supposed to scream, and you see like it's like the skyscraper, and you see like the voice bubbles and stuff like that of them screaming. So the voice actor for Ichimatsu decided it was appropriate to moan instead of screaming.
Nice.
And they were just like, yes, we love that. Let's put it in.
Nice.
It's just like, it's amazing. It's ridiculous and funny and heartwarming in very short, specific moments. And they just break it and make it funny again.
So like one of the episodes that are not allowed to air in the Westerns.
It's the first episode.
Yeah. So I think in Japan that like adds another extra episode because they had to make one extra. They reference about like 20 animes in one episode.
Yeah.
And they can't air that in the Westerns because of the licensing issues.
Yeah. You should watch it if you can find it online.
Yeah.
So basically it's they open up with like, oh, we're getting a reboot. So they're like breaking the fourth wall already.
Yeah, and then like they were drawn in like an old school style as well, right?
Yeah. So
And
they're
then
like, how should we make our reboot? Like, oh, what's popular nowadays? And they start to like list out like all of these like you know,
Mecha,
Haikyuu and like mecha animes,
Prince.
Uta Prince, and just all of it, like over in High School Host Club.
Yeah. So like each time like they mention it, they change the entire scene to like them reenacting that anime.
Yeah. It's really good.
Yeah. I was so lost when I watched it. I was like,
it's the only episode when they're hot, and then it just goes back to like blip.
Yep.
Yeah, it's really good. I like it a lot. I have nothing more to say about this. It's just, it is what it is. Watch it. Next one
yes.
is Mob Psycho 100. I love One, the author. I also love One Piece. So his name is One. The author's
Did
name
you
is
just
One.
call him One Piece?
The author's name is One. He wrote One Piece.
One Punch?
Oh, fuck. One Punch, I'm sorry.
Oh!
Because we mentioned One Piece.
Yeah,
and
that's
my
why I was
brain
like,
was like
do
wired.
you call him One Piece?
I thought you were confused about One. That's why you were looking at me like that. One Punch, Mob Psycho 100. I love both of them. And I love One, the author. So where do you even start? It was kind of like choosing between which one to put on the list.
Uh-huh.
But in the end, I went for Mob Psycho because it's more satisfying in a round storytelling circle.
I would agree.
Yes, so it's very complete. But One Punch is funnier, I would say. I enjoy One Punch in terms of comedic stuff more, but I like Mob Psycho in terms of storytelling.
I've heard a lot of One Punch season 2 is terrible due to studio change or like director change.
Yeah.
And the quality just dropped.
I would say, because I mostly read the manga for One Punch, but even in the manga, I didn't really enjoy like that part of the series because my favorite part of like One Punch was like Saitama and his whole thing, and like him being like, you know, super strong or whatever. But in the second part, it kind of focuses more on everything else.
Right.
Like in the world.
Like world building kind of thing.
World building, like what is this organization that has the superheroes? Who are the superheroes in this organization? Who's this biker guy who like keeps jumping into the scenes? And I'm just like, when is Saitama gonna get the attention that he deserves?
I love that. I love that guy though.
The biker?
Yeah. He's like,
yeah, he's just like a normal guy. He
doesn't have any superpowers. He just
he just helps people.
Little tangent about the author of this though. So how he came up with One Punch, although this is going to be about Mob Psycho, tangent. How he came up with One Punch was, I think he got fired from his job, or he quit his job, right? And he wanted to draw. He wanted to practice like drawing.
He was very bad at drawing.
Yeah.
Like very bad at drawing.
So he started coming up with this comic, like 4 panels kind of thing, right? And he would upload it frequently to practice his drawing, right? And because he doesn't know how to draw hair, hence
the bald head of Saitama.
Yes.
That's why his name is Tama. Because he's an egg.
And
sorry.
And then because like he doesn't really know, he's like very bad at like drawing in general. So he tried to make the fight scenes finish as quick as possible, but just one punch. And eventually like it caught on to the internet. People loved it so much. And when he finally found a job, and he's like, guys, I'm going to have to like, stop doing this because I found like a proper job. Little did he know that one of his reader is actually the artist for one Eye Shield 21, which is like amazing art style. So Eye Shield 21, if you don't know, it's about American football in Japan, like high school kind of thing. Also very good manga. So he approached the author of One Punch and said that, let me do it.
And that's why the art style is so good. I mean, like, one got really good as he improved. So, like, if you see his art style in the beginning and towards the end, he definitely improved.
Oh, yeah.
But, like...
Did he draw Mob Psycho himself?
I didn't read the manga. Did they have manga?
I actually don't know.
I think they do, but, like, he doesn't draw the current, like, publishing.
Right.
But I don't know if I think he designed him.
Okay.
But yeah. So Mob Psycho. Amazing anime. It's very satisfying to watch. All the characters are so good. And my favorite part of it is just that it's about this kid, right? So usually in animes, it's usually like a main character kid who gets this incredible power and then he has to save the world, right? The thing about Mob Psycho is that this kid has like super powerful like telekinesis powers. But he doesn't want to use it to fight people because his parents said that it's bad to fight people, right? And he's like, yeah, that makes sense. I shouldn't do that. So then he just, tries to be normal. And there's this other main character-ish guy who kind of takes him in because he needs...
The teacher?
He's not really a teacher. He's
the gray suit guy?
Yeah, Reagan. He is he's a businessman.
Oh, he's in the picture, I just realized.
He's a con man. So basically he's tricking people into thinking that he can get rid of ghosts, but he can't because he doesn't have any power. But he kind of tricks Mob into thinking that Reagan, the business guy, is actually like a professional ghostbuster. Yeah. So he's like, oh, Mob, come and help me. It will be a part-time job. Like I will pay you and stuff like that. So he basically uses Mob to like actually get rid of real ghosts.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a really thin line between good and bad in this whole anime. So we don't actually know because listening to like the first description of this, of course you're going to think like, oh, Reagan is the bad guy. Like he's tricking Mob. He's doing this and this and that. But as you progress throughout the story, it shows that that's not really the case. So it's very interesting. And the art style is amazing.
Yep.
So good.
Yep.
The intro, hand-drawn.
Oh, really?
I think it was either the intro or the outro that is like completely hand-drawn. And it's amazing. The colors are so good. And it's great. It's a good time.
I didn't watch it.
You should. Another one to the list.
God.
But Mob
And another
Psycho
one.
is really easy to go through.
Yeah, I could imagine.
Can we move on?
Yes.
Bakemonogatari. We have our waifus here on the table. Where to start?
I don't know, but I don't think I need to say that this is also on my list. This is mine, by the way.
Yeah, this is yours. This is mine. It's like, I think that everybody, or not everybody, but most people who got into Bakemonogatari makes it like their all-time favorite just because of the weirdness of it. So I said earlier that the more lore there is to the story and the more information there is to the story and the more there is to dig into it, the more invested you're going to become.
Oh, yeah.
This is a perfect example of that in an anime. I actually read the light novels. So it started off as light novel, which is basically manga, but in writing form. I don't know how to... they would just say like, oh, it's like a book, but it's not. It's not like a book.
It's a novel.
It's a novel, but it's written in a way that you would read a manga. So like the kind of pacing or the way that you describe like action scenes is very manga-esque.
Right.
So yeah, so it's that. And I would read it and it's really good. But it's so confusing and it's just like, what the fuck is going on? And you watch the manga, you watch the anime and you're just like watching it and you're
even
like,
more confused.
what the fuck is going on here? So basically, it's about...
How do you even basically this anime?
Basically, it's about Araragi-kun, who is our main character.
What's his name?
Araragi-kun. Araragi-kun. Do you remember that song?
Huh?
There's like a song that sings his name with other girl. Araragi-kun. There's a lot of good songs in this anime, by the way.
Yes.
The meme song, the meme typical, stereotypical anime song is from this anime. The
Yes. Very nice circulation.
It's from this. It's about Araragi-kun, who is our shithead main protagonist. He is a very bad protagonist. So let me just premise this by saying that I don't condone anything that has to do with him.
What? I love him.
I love him, but I don't condone any of his behavior.
I can approve most of it.
Please don't. Please don't. So I'm saying this as like, you can enjoy a character without approving of their behavior, is what I'm trying to say. This guy, it's a harem anime, basically. So he goes around and he has this...
It's not your everyday usual harem.
Yeah, but it's a harem in its core. There's two parts of this. So Araragi-kun basically somehow attracts, not in the attraction way, but like physically attracts girls with spiritual issues. So like they have some supernatural stuff going on with them,
So
and
in
he
this,
just ends up around them.
yeah. So in this anime, there are things like supernatural stuff,
Yeah.
spiritual, ghosts and spirits do exist
Mhm.
in a way. But yeah, like, and our main guy happens to just
Run into them.
Yeah.
Like he...
and having to help other people solving their shit.
Yeah, so this is like a curse/blessing he has.
Mhm.
So that's just like the premise of the story. The other part of this is that while he's something that already happened in the past, so there's like a prequel to this that already has a movie. Kise Monogatari?
I think so.
I think it is. But anyway, so it's like a prequel where it shows how he became who he is in the main series. So in the main series, he kind of has like these superpowers where he's really strong and we don't know why. Kind of like he kind of explains it, but not really. He's like, "Oh yeah, I used to be a vampire," and it like goes on. So we're like, "What?" So before he, again ran into this supernatural lady, who is standing right here, but
I'm trying to think her name, like full name. Aceleron, Kiss Shot, Art Underblade, something like that.
That's her. This is her full name, right here. So he ran into her, and she is a vampire. She was dying, and he was like, in that moment, he was like, you know what? I'm a piece of shit anyway. I don't have anything good going on for me. This beautiful
and there's
vampire.
A hot, big titty lady is lying in front of me dying.
Yeah, like why should I not help her? You know, he's like, she's worth so much more than me. I should just sacrifice myself. Also, so he's like, hey lady, you can have my blood.
Suck my blood.
Yeah.
Also, the reason that we can spoil this because it's being mentioned about like at least 6 times throughout, all the series.
Yeah.
So you hear this a lot.
And it's not like the climax of the story anyway. It's like this is like the premise of the story. Yeah. So he helps this lady, but she ends up like becoming fond of him, I guess. Maybe. And she decides to keep him alive.
And like in a way, the vampire became his servant or helper.
Kinda.
Because he willingly gave her the blood.
Yeah.
So I was like, it's kind of weird.
Yeah, it's like a weird dynamic. But you should watch it if you want to.
I highly recommend
try
this.
to understand it.
I highly recommend this, and it's even easier now. Like, so I think there are about like 6 installments of this anime.
Neko Monogatari, Kuro, Kisu Monogatari.
I don't even know.
Yeah,
but like, so I started watching when it first came out, and then I was eagerly waiting for season 2. I watched it. The whole thing was great, but I could not connect the dot.
It's all over the place.
The third one came out, still amazing. Still could not connect the dot. And it's like, what the fuck is going on here? Turns out, the freaking seasons...
It's not in order.
It's not in order.
Yeah. It's not in order.
You could go like 1, 5, 0. Oh, wait, no, there's another 0. And then like go back to like 3. It's crazy. So you can either watch like chronologically in real life where it comes out, or you can just look it up of what order you need to watch to have the whole thing make sense.
I would recommend if you're a new watcher, just go like in the right order, like in the timeline order, because it's just easier to understand what's going on. But if you want a challenge, just watch it chronologically.
Yeah, I did watch that. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah. It's very good though. But yeah, so he like helps her, and then he needs to do something for her to make sure that he can become human again, because vampires, they have limitations where they, can't go out in the sun. They had to live on blood and stuff like that. So he was like, I don't want that. Why did you keep me alive? So he has to do stuff for her to become human again. Spoiler alert, he succeeds. And that's when you get like the Araragi-kun that you get in the main series. When he runs into a bunch of other girls as well. One thing I will say about this series though, the art style is probably one of the best I've ever seen in my whole life.
I have to 100% agree on that.
It's so good.
Like, this is not, again, your average anime. It's just, I don't even know, like
it's gorgeous.
Yeah. Like the art style, the way they play with the whole screen, it will just keep throwing you off. Like, so like almost every single episode of it.
I was very impressed with this too, because as I said, I read the light novel first. They really adapted it incredibly well, because like the way that the author writes the story is similar to the way that they display it in visual form. So you will like turn the page and the words will be like scrambled all over the page, or like you will have to like connect the dots on the page. It's not like just normal written story. It's like a visual thing in the book without pictures as well. So they adapted it into like visual images really well, where you're like, what the fuck is going on? But then you have to connect the dots.
It's amazing. The soundtrack is also pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
I still listen to some of them even nowadays.
They have a soundtrack for each girl.
Oh yeah. So opening, ending, and then what else? There's so many girls in there. It's great. Like I cannot stress this enough. Like how great of this anime is. A lot of the jokes are just like inside jokes almost because it's so specific to Japanese language where I could not understand. Like we would not be able to understand it.
Yeah, even now, like there's so many jokes that we didn't catch or can't catch even if we watch it now. But it's still like there's so much packed in there that it's still very enjoyable. And the amount of jokes that you do catch is like it's worth it. There's a lot of problematic scenes, which is why I'm saying that I don't condone his behavior.
What do you mean?
Like the toothbrush scene.
Okay, fine.
There's a toothbrush scene.
I'm not gonna say anything about that.
Don't look it up. I mean, like, if I don't want people who have never seen the anime to look it up and be like, oh, so this is what it's about, you know?
That's not it. That's just like
but it's in there.
Like
but it exists. They drew that.
It's like a sprinkle of like the author. It's like, here you go.
Here you go. Problematic stuff.
Spice.
So bad. But like still enjoyable. Like it's so ridiculous that it's funny. Like it's so just bad. Not as in like badly done, but it's just like, why did it do this?
Yeah, it's
to the point where it's hilarious.
It's so well drawn. It's so well like acted, the voice wise. I was like, do I feel uncomfortable or do I just laugh at this? I was like when that scene came out, I was like, what?
Yeah, it's
what? So I stayed like this for like minutes.
So even though we recommend it, if you're like never seen an anime in your whole life, please don't watch it yet. Please save it until later.
Don't just Google that scene. Just watch the whole thing happen.
I mean, in general, like don't watch Bakemonogatari if you've never seen any anime in your whole life before.
Good, because you will have your standards, like, and the rest of the anime will be like lame.
I guess I will say like you're gonna get scarred. But it's great and it's terrible and it's all of those things.
Still love that anime though.
Yeah.
To death.
Yeah.
Sorry. Toilet break.
Okay. Time out. Welcome back.
Thank you. I thought I was going to die there.
Empty bladder.
Yes. I'm explode.
The imagery.
It's just a meme I sent her this morning.
Okay. We're back.
Okay.
We only have one left.
So, yeah.
You want to say anything else about Bakemonogatari? Or
I don't even know. I like so many characters in there. The characters are like whacked in its own way.
I'm thinking like
it has its own like kind of quirky stuff.
Yes.
Like Hachiguchi Mayoi.
I like how the characters are. I don't like the characters. I find most of them very annoying, but like in a good way. Do you know what I mean? Like I wouldn't be able to deal with any of these characters like myself.
In real life?
In real life. But I really enjoy watching the banter. But Tenjiko Hara is my waifu. She's also a typical kudere though.
Yeah.
Yeah. She doesn't really show any emotion, but she's very cool.
And she loves the main guy to death.
Yeah.
Like
for some reason.
She's both kudere and yandere.
True. Yeah, true. But she's like, I would say that every single girl in the series love the main character.
He's a very lovable character.
That's not true.
Yeah.
That's not true.
I mean, he's very reliable man. He's very kind. He's so thoughtful. In the anime, you hear him talk to himself a lot.
He's thoughtful. He has a lot of thoughts. The thing about
the thing
about Araragi. No, I'm gonna fight. the thing about Ararage is that he starts off as an amazing character. His whole like arc in with Shinobu is like really cool. You're like, damn, this dude is amazing, and he's like strong and he's like cool. He's not like super showy, and like he's relatable. And then the next episode, like he would just be like a total shithead, and it would be like, why did he allow this to air on TV?
Right, that's why.
And then like in the next episode after that, he would be normal again. He would be like normal. He'd be like, oh, reliable, like pretty cool. And then like the next episode after that, he would be like totally cringe.
Yeah,
so
it's great.
Like, he's not consistent. He's not a well-built character.
He's consistently inconsistent.
Yes.
Inconsistent. That's not inconsistent.
I wouldn't say he's a well-built character, but he's a character that is made for people to relate to. And by people, I mean
Weirdos.
Male otakus, specifically.
You just call me otaku.
You are. So yes, I can't describe him because like I like him as a character too, but I also hate him as a character because he's never the same.
I absolutely love him.
Because he's built to be like approachable as a character for male otakus. You will see what I mean when you watch the anime, because that's why he changes every time he interacts with different girls. Because he changes depending on what girl it is and how you're gonna approach this girl.
Yeah, that's why he's like, okay, this is how I'm gonna talk to her.
Yeah, he's big brain, but like.
But him as a whole,
big pervert brain.
Him as a whole, he's a very like kind-hearted. He's like way too kind.
Yeah.
For this whole thing to happen.
He keeps helping people, but then also
hurting himself and getting himself into trouble for that.
Yes.
All right.
Anyway.
The last for
moi.
3x3.
I had a very difficult time with this one. So I told you a little bit about this before. This is a spot where I was struggling very, very hard between Angel Beats and Madoka Magica.
Yes.
The thing is that, let me start with Angel Beats, because the reason why I chose Angel Beats in the end is because the more I thought about it, the more I remembered why it was on my favorites in my, old sites and stuff like that. So I still have like my anime list for when I was a teen, and this was like one of my favorite animes. And I was like thinking about it, I was like, why was it? Because I don't remember most of it. So it's like, oh, if I can't remember most of it, then it probably wasn't that good. But then the more I thought about it and the more I remembered stuff about it, I was just like, I see.
I remember it very well.
This is why. It's because I cried for 3 hours straight.
Yeah, I cried like 4 episodes in. I cried.
Yeah. I cried so much during this one. And and then I just remember like, it's also kind of very stereotypically what I like. So, like the deep thought, deep thought stuff, dark stuff, whatever, think pieces.
I love like the twist in this anime.
Oh, so good. It's so good. Yeah. So I just like, it has to be on the list. Angel Beats is about, you need to help me with this because I don't know what's spoiler and what's not. But basically they're in this school.
I will either warn her or cut it out, post-edit.
Okay, then I will just talk.
Oh,
and
no.
You can just cut it out.
Please don't.
Whenever.
No, you're going to make my life difficult.
Okay, fine. They're in this school. And it's basically like a school life anime for most of the anime. But then they find out stuff about the school and why they're there and why certain characters are the way that certain characters are. And there's a lot of crying.
Sounds pretty good.
Yeah. It's very deep.
It's a lot of like comedic moments.
Oh, it's very funny.
The music's are freaking amazing. The opening song, I can't remember the ending actually. But yeah, like there are many great songs in this anime. I was gonna say, like, as I said, it's like those era where like every anime will have to like make their own like in anime music, and it's one of them, and they did super well.
But I don't know. Do you know the main plot thing of this? Do we know about it in the beginning, or is that revealed later on?
Later on.
Okay, so there's like a big plot thing that will be revealed later on that will totally change the whole concept of this anime as you watch it, and like things that you saw throughout the first half.
It started from episode 4 onwards.
I see.
But then, like, I think the really big thing starts about episode like 8.
Because the thing is, like, this is one of the animes where I watched it and just never watched it again.
Same.
Ever.
Same.
So like, but I just remember the shock of it and how much, because like the first few episodes, it's coming back to me now. So the first few episodes, I was like, what is this shit? This is so boring. Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, if I wanted to watch like a slice of life, I would just watch Lucky Star, whatever. So I would watch it and then it hit. And I was like, holy shit.
Yep.
What the fuck is going on? But now it's like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, the change.
The change. So, and then it's just getting more and more and more intense.
I'm pretty sure I cried about like twice.
Like every episode for me.
What?
It's like something happening every episode.
It's just like certain episodes, just like pure shenanigans.
My main thing was the hair girl, the reveal about her. Yeah, that was like my.
Oh, that's pretty fucking sad. That was.
So it's not scary. So it's not like Devilman where it's like, oh, a big reveal, but it's like bloody and scary and stuff. It's not like that. It's like just emotional, and it makes you like
feel
stuff. And afterwards, you're like, I love my friends. I love my family. I'm so happy that I had this life.
I watched it very early on in my anime watching career. I think like within the first year I moved to Australia. It was just, it hit me like a truck.
I really recommend it. It's really good. I probably will watch it again.
I think what kept me as well, like in this anime, because as you said, like it looks very tame at the beginning. The soundtrack, like this is great, this should be good. Side note: there are other animes that the soundtrack's amazing, and then I just could not like bear watching it. Like that one in anime I showed in Netflix. I showed you something Buster. The opening is like in English. It's like a bit funky, but like the story just
maybe show me later.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's great. Watch it if you have time.
Cry like a baby.
Yeah, like it's one of those older ones that I feel would still be very watchable today.
Yes.
The anime style is still old school. Like it's those, the white face with the eyes that are huge and far apart, but it's still very visually appealing. I
remember like when this anime was a thing, so many people made fun of the main girl, the purple hair girl. If I could find the meme, I'll put it up. But she looks like 3 characters mashed together, like of like the typical 3 anime female characters mashed together.
Yeah, but I think it works also because it's a story hidden within the story. So that's why it doesn't really matter what they look like. They could have looked like anything, and it would still work. So yeah, and the reason why I had such a difficult time with this to begin with is because I recently, as we mentioned before, just watched Madoka Magica. I know it's very old. I know that everybody loves it. I don't know why I didn't watch it sooner. I just never did. But then I did, and it's so good. It's so really good. But so it gave me kind of like similar feelings to Angel Beats.
Because episode 4.
True. So it's not the same concept, but it's the same kind of feel strip and the same like reveal.
Yep.
But the reason why I didn't put it on instead of Angel Beats is because I feel like I need to let it cook and simmer in my emotions for a little bit.
Because like, this is not our ultimate 3x3. It's definitely going to change because, as I said earlier, like 3x3 is not enough to like put good animes that we like. It's just what we could think of right now. If you were to ask us again like next month, it's probably going to change.
If you asked me like 5 years ago, it would have been different as well. So yeah, it's definitely going to change, but I don't know yet if I like Madoka more than Angel Beats. I might even like keep both of them on and take something else out. I don't know. It's difficult, but yeah, I really liked and enjoyed Madoka. It was very satisfying to watch. Like same thing, like full story circle. It it has the Japanese ending, like Japanese style ending where it's not an ending, but it's an ending.
It's an open end.
Yes.
Ending.
But it's still very satisfying. It's like full circle.
Also, do you realize that the opening for Madoka Magica, it's progressively getting darker and darker?
Yeah.
Yeah, so cool.
Yeah, it's really good. I also recommend that. I didn't put it on because it shows Angel Beats. I also have some honorable mentions I wanted to put on, but I couldn't find myself to do it.
The soundtrack for Madoka Magica is also bomb.
Yeah.
So good.
So good.
It's like, imagine Final Fantasy-esque, but like magical girl.
Yeah. It's really good. You can just listen to the soundtrack too if you don't want to cry.
Yeah.
If you don't feel like crying today, just listen to the soundtrack. So I try to avoid anime movies in this list because we can probably talk about it in the future. Maybe not 3x3, but just like in general. But if I could put movies on, I would definitely take some out and put Spirited Away for sure, because just like nostalgic value. Perfect Blue.
I have not seen it.
So good. Still very applicable to today's showbiz industry. And also Tekkon Kinkrit, which is Tekkon Kinkrit. It's like, I think I showed it to you before. You can put it up here. It's very funky anime style, very different, but the story is very well executed. It's almost a mix between Eastern and Western storytelling style. It's about two street kids who are, fighting for their lives basically, and like in a big city, and they're trying to survive, and they, get into like the bad side of things. And the art style is just so good. It's just nice to look at, and the story, of course, is very.
Right, it hurts right in the kokoro.
In the kokoro, yes. And then if it's other ones that I wouldn't put on the list, but I really like, would be Death Note, Death Parade, Lucky Star, and Love is Hard for an Otaku.
What?
Love is Hard for an Otaku.
I don't think I've seen that one.
I mentioned it to you before, but you haven't seen it. But it's basically about these 4 office workers who are all otakus, and 2 of them are already a couple, but the main 2 characters kind of have a crush on each other, but they are still figuring out stuff, and they're also like hiding the fact that they're otakus. And yeah.
Sounds great.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really good. It's very, slice of life, laid back stuff. And just something I watch sometimes as well. I think, that's it.
Hello?
Take time.
Again?
Yeah, I forgot. Anyway, that's my anime list. So we're going to cut it here for now, because I already finished my 3x3.
Yes.
And we're going to go to yours.
Yes. For the next one.
Yes.
You bumped into the microphone again?
I keep bumping into the microphone.
You don't have to be that close.
I don't want to be close. But yeah, let's stop here, and then you're going to see his next time for the next video, because I think it's going to be too long, because we already got complaints about we talk a lot and we talk for a long time. So thank you for watching.
Thank you very much.
And we'll see you soon.
Yeah.
very soon. Bye bye and peace.